Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. When you're going through health issues, especially in the beginning years, there's a lot of things that come at us. And one of the biggest fears in a marriage relationship that the spouse who is going through the health issue have is my spouse going to stay? Will my husband or my wife leave? Will they stay through all of this? Because in today's society, a handshake doesn't mean anything anymore. A person's word doesn't mean anything anymore. And vows, which used to be highly prized, are no longer prized the way they are. And so although people marry and they say for better, for worse, in sickness and in health, for richer and in poor, people don't mean that anymore. We're not taught. The generations have not taught every generation to be a person of their word, haven't taught them to place a value on marriage relationship. And unfortunately, it's getting less and less so as the generations tend to go on. We're no longer teaching our children to put in work to receive. Children are getting things without having to earn them nowadays. And so because people aren't, they're feeling that they're entitled, that they should receive without putting in any effort, any work to get. So when you have a marriage, a lot of people do not nowadays they want the romance view of the marriage. They want the benefits of the marriage without actually having to go through for that, without having to make it through the hard times of that, because a marriage isn't built overnight. And it actually, in the hard times, right, actually brings couples together that choose to stay together and be together for a while. So when you have a relationship and you have a marriage, whether it's early in the marriage that a health issue arises, or even later in the marriage sometimes that a health issue arises, the person who's going through oftentimes are wondering, will my spouse stay? This is going on. Well, how do they see me now? You know, they might not look the way they once looked. They might not be able to do the things or provide the things that they once were able to provide. And now they find out just how deep is the love in this relationship, just how committed is the commitment in this relationship. And they find out just how valuable they are to the person that they're married to. Is their value based upon superficial things? Is it based upon their looks? Is it based upon what they can do? Or is it really based upon who they are? Will they be loved, right, in good times and bad times? Will they be loved when they're healthy and when they're not so healthy, and when it requires a lot of work? And the things you go through in health issues, they are weighty. They are hard. They're not easy. Not only for the person who's going through, but for the spouse, for the children, for everyone involved. It is life-changing, and caregivers sacrifice their lives. They are some of the closest people to Jesus on this earth, in the sense of giving up who they are, giving up their life to love on someone else. And so I just want to briefly kind of share all of that with you and just touch on that. If you are the spouse of a person who is going through and you are their caregiver, you have to reassure them constantly, not only by what you say, by what you do, that you're here for the long run and that you love them, even though they're going through, even though they're throwing up all over you, right? Even though it's a hardship that's placed on you, that you're in this for the long run. And so be mindful of that and take the time to not only tell them, right, but to show them in your actions. And sometimes you can think that, well, I'm showing them, I'm here, I'm doing this, you know, I don't need to tell them. No, you actually have to verbalize it. Let them know that you love them, and that you're not going anywhere, and that the two of you are going to make it through this together, through thick and through thin, and that it's an honor. My husband had got this swole up in him as we were going through in the early years, that it's an honor to honor his vows. It's an honor to be there for me. And wow, even though I didn't understand the fullness of what he was getting on the inside, it really meant something to me and ministered to me that he felt honored to be there for me through all of this. And so I would like to share that with you, and to let you know that it's important for you to let the people know that you're taken care of, that you love them, and you're not going anywhere. Now, on the other side of that, if you're the one who's going through, it's also important for you to let them know that you appreciate every little thing that they do. It's in the details sometimes. Sometimes we just say, thank you for the big, but sometimes we need to let them know the details of it, the things that they do that really bless you, and make it easy for them to take care of you. You don't want to make it hard on them, and don't push them away. You need them, and sometimes there's a tendency to think that perhaps it might be better for them to move on because you love them so much. You don't want them to have to go through all the hardships they're going through, and you love them so much you want them to be able to continue to enjoy their lives. And sometimes you just don't want them to see you like that. But you know what? This is a marriage. This is a oneness. This is a unity. You're going to see them in good times and in bad times, and they're going to see you. And you need them, and you want them, and you love them. Never let sickness and disease push your marriage apart. Never let anyone or anything come between that unity, because you guys are stronger together than you are apart. So, in all things, remember, do you. I appreciate the fact that you guys are watching. Until next week. Bye.